Welcome back. What is hypnosis? Well, contrary to what most people believe, hypnosis actually is a natural, everyday state of mind. We all constantly drift in and out of hypnosis all the time without really realizing it. Of course, many people associate hypnosis with stage hypnosis and old black and white movies with the guy with the goatee beard and the dodgy German accent and the mysterious eyes and that kind of thing, and these associations between hypnosis and mind control, manipulation, those kinds of things. Hypnosis is not about mind control at all, and if anything, as I hinted at in the first video, hypnosis and hypnotherapy is actually about giving people back control. It's not about controlling them at all. So how can I justify that hypnosis is an everyday state of mind, and that we all, me and you, go in and out of hypnosis all the time? The best definition of hypnosis that I've come across in all the years that I've been studying this and practicing this was one that came up with a guy called Dave Ellman, who was a very well-known hypnotherapist in America. And his definition was that hypnosis is a state in which critical thinking is temporarily bypassed and selective thinking is introduced. Now, the bit I want to focus on there is this idea of critical thinking. For critical thinking, you could read that as analytical thinking or logical or rational thinking, which is predominantly the domain of our conscious mind, our conscious awareness. So let me just give you an example of what I mean by this. If you enjoy watching movies, if you get easily engrossed in a movie, that is a form of hypnosis, because you know on a logical, rational, critical thinking level that it's only a movie. It's not real. They're only actors playing a part. The whole thing is make-believe. The whole thing is fantasy, and yet you behave, you respond as if it was real, because that part of your mind that knows it's not real is over here somewhere. It gets kind of pushed out of the way, and it allows access to your more imaginative, more emotional side, which comes from your so-called unconscious mind. And you get wrapped up in the storyline, you associate with the different characters, and you get involved with the movie. So that is a very good example of everyday hypnosis. And hypnosis really is this, it's kind of this branching out of the logical, rational part of the mind and the more imaginative part of the mind. So another example of everyday hypnosis would be when you just drift off into a daydream. So your sort of rational part of the mind, your critical thinker, as it were, sort of kind of drifts off somewhere else, and your imagination takes over, and you perhaps imagine yourself being somewhere else or doing something you want to be doing or whatever it is. So it's this splitting off of logic, rational, and an imagination. And so can you see now that when you think about it, you're actually drifting, we all drift in and out of hypnosis on a regular basis. Most, if not all, TV advertising uses hypnosis in some form or another. And in fact, hypnosis is all around us in terms of advertising and suggestion, etc., etc. And a well-trained salesperson is very good at using hypnotic language. Now, I don't know if you've ever been the victim of this, but it's certainly true that some people get sold a product or a service that didn't really want. They haven't been controlled by the other person, but they've used a kind of language whereby they've got using the power of suggestion, where they become almost convinced that they can't live their life without that product or whatever it is, and so they end up buying it. And that's a very good example of this everyday hypnosis. Now that doesn't really explain hypnosis in the therapy room, because rather than, if someone comes to me as a client, rather than for me to wait for them to just drift into some form of hypnosis, I will guide them into a state of hypnosis. And again, different therapists use different approaches, different strategies. On the next video, I'm going to actually do a fairly brief demonstration to show you how hypnosis can be induced. But most hypnotherapists use what's called an induction, and then they use a deepener to deepen the state of hypnosis. Now, there are three things that are very important to bear in mind about hypnosis, and this is something I explain to all of my clients before I do any work with them. Number one, I explain to the client that they will be in control at all times. So they can't be made to reveal their innermost secrets. They can't be made to do anything they don't want to do. Number two, there's no such thing as feeling hypnotized. There isn't a particular feeling that defines hypnosis. Now, having said that, some people do notice some slightly strange phenomenon when they go into hypnosis. Tingling in the fingers, numbness in the toes sometimes, and occasionally I had a client only the other day who said after the session that she felt as though her hands were enormous. So you've got these really, really big hands. But most people just feel a bit relaxed. Some people feel very, very relaxed. So there's no particular feeling that defines hypnosis. So a person in hypnosis doesn't go into a zombie-like state. They don't become an automaton or anything like that. So people feel quite normal. And thirdly, when a person's in hypnosis or under hypnosis, they are fully aware at all times. Although hypnotherapy is about helping people on an unconscious level, that doesn't mean that the person is actually unconscious or asleep. They're not, they're awake. Hypnosis is a state of, what some people call an altered state of awareness or an altered state of consciousness. It's not a state of unconsciousness or sleep. So, and it's something I usually have a little laugh and a joke with my clients. I explain to them, if you're not hearing what I'm saying to you, it's because you've nodded off to sleep. And if they're not asleep, they're in hypnosis. So that's what hypnosis is. That's what hypnosis isn't. On the next video, I'm going to do a fairly short demonstration so that you can experience hypnosis for yourself. So I'll see you again very soon.